We are getting a message about spiritual protection today. So you have been battling an energy. You have been battling either an entity, like a spiritual entity, or a force in your life that has until now caused a lot of pressure, a lot of conflict, and a lot of stress. This may be a person. It may be a masculine figure in your life, someone who has money or authority over you. But this could be in work, it could be in family, it could be in relationship. It is not necessarily a romantic situation. But this also is, in a sense, I think, has to do with the patriarchy, with the forces of society that are deemed to be fundamentally true or fundamentally real. And it has been like caused a caged effect in your life up until now. And I'm going to explain more of this, but it's like a spiritual war that you have been battling, okay? But the message that you have to remember is that you are actually protected during this experience, or you have been protected through this whole experience. And now you are actually capable of also protecting yourself. I'm really getting. So we have, a dual message here of the sun and the thorn. So I'm really getting, this is the Rose Oracle deck, but I am really being reminded about that right now in the sense that the sun plays such a crucial role in bringing the blossom of the bloom into being, and the thorn plays such a crucial role in protecting the stem of the plant. But what I'm also feeling is the sun plays a much more crucial role in the existence of the rose. The rose has thorns, but it doesn't need thorns, because what it really needs is its bloom. It really needs its blossom. That is what brings in the bees and the pollinators that come to make sure that it and other versions of it and the other roses can continue to grow and can continue to bloom. And the bees actually don't necessarily touch the thorns. The bees don't ever really have any interaction with the thorns. The thorns are there for people who would come and try to uproot. Like, it's more like humans and animals that could potentially uproot the whole plant or huge portions of the plant. Those are the thorns, or that's why the thorns are there. Oh, this is a really, really important message. So with that in mind, the message is here to say, okay, what we're doing is we're focusing on the beauty of life. We're focusing on the sun energy, the vitality, the play, the success, the life force, the enjoyment of life, your own joy. That is the most important thing for you in order to become yourself, in order to bloom like the rose, right? You don't need to be living in a state of protection, actually. Like, what this is saying is the thorns are almost like this secondary protective force that should be and is behind the scenes, in a sense. And you have put them in place. It's like you have already established boundaries in a sense that now you don't have to be constantly battling people. It's more that they're in place, things are established, and if something were to come and try to fully fuck with you, like really uproot your whole existence, then your thorns would do what they need to do. So your boundaries would do what they need to do, or your defensive mechanisms would do what they need to do. This also means that there is like spiritual protection behind the scenes for you, making sure that you do not get completely uprooted, that you do not get completely fucked with. So I want to show you that there is a King of Pentacles and a Devil reversed on top. So this is what the force is that has been fucking with you. This King of Pentacles could be, like I said, an actual person, but it can be this type of energy or this aspect of society, this aspect of life, of like money and status and structure, and how there's been a kind of bondage that you have been warring with. And this could be someone in your life who represents those energies, or who has tried to create those kinds of, or perpetuate that kind of energy in your life. And you have had like this, what seems like a liberation from them. And what that was spiritual protection. So see this, we have Two of Swords and the Five of Wands reversed. This is what flanks the King of Pentacles. What this is showing is that you have been just like almost behind the scenes protected from something that could have bound you to it, that would have been technically hellish. This Devil card, it would have been hellish, right? But you avoided the situation. You avoided the situation. And I'm really, we have an Ace of Wands here. And what I'm really getting with this today is like a club for batting. Like really, honestly, it's the clubs. It's like I'm seeing that it's almost like the divine forces or something, some energy, some protective energy around you actually like beat this back. It beat it back. Look at this, the Five of Wands, Ace of Wands. Like this is like actually like something defending you from finding yourself bound or imprisoned. The energy of the Devil here is very much an imprisonment kind of energy, but you avoided it or you were freed from it. When we have the High Priestess, and that is absolutely, of course, you. And so the reason why these forces of protection are in place now is because of your spiritual station, let's say, because of your connection to the other world, the other realms. You have been you've put into place your own spiritual protection, okay? Even if you're not entirely sure, even if you can't see it and you don't really know whether it's there or not, this reading is here to tell you that it is there. So the Page of Wands, let's see why that's come out. Get some clarifiers on that. There's also a Four of Pentacles here. Again, this is a protective energy. So you are like surrounded, flanked by protective energy. So this could also be that like if there are things trying to come into your world, trying to get in, that don't have the ability to be harmonious. Like if there's something that's trying to get into your world, but spirit can see that it would be a conflict energy, like they'd be bringing either something that would be emotionally confusing or mentally confusing or actually energetically chaotic. It's not even getting through. Like you are not able to see it, smell it, hear it, or sense it. You're not able to know it. Like you might be able to sense it in terms of like you can read signs and omens that it might be there, or you can get like kind of a perception on like some sixth sense that things are trying to get in or someone's trying to get in, but it's not coming through. It's blocked. It's being fully blocked with the Two of Swords. And you can't actually visually see anything and you don't know for sure. So that's actually intentional. It's like on the spiritual plane. And that is like as it should be. And your ability to perceive things very subtly is just because you are this High Priestess. Like you are a sensitive and spiritually in tune person. You may be like a reader or a whatever, like someone who's interested in the occult in some way. So you have your ways, I'll just say you have your ways, but you are basically locked down in a good sense. Like you're not locked down in the imprisonment sense, but it's like your guides have it locked down. They're like, we got this. You are meant to be blooming right now. You're meant to be focusing on that joy, focusing on the sun energy and not on the protection of self. So the protection is being put in place for you. So you can trust and you can relax and fall. And really, what I'm really hearing to or getting and like seeing, so to speak, is this this priestess energy really strongly. So I think you are for sure, I think you're learning and exploring yourself in deeper, more introspective ways. You may be studying again or studying something in more in depth. So this is now time for you to pursue your creative endeavors, your ideas that you have. You may have a vision or an idea that is not fully put into place. It hasn't fully matured yet. And nice, we have some good cards here. So you're meant to be really expanding that vision and exploring that and looking for all the different ways that you can bring your own ideas into fruition right now. This takes a lot of creative clarity and a lot of creative energy to channel in this way. And so that's why you're being protected from people and things and energies that could be completely like entrapping you from being able to be creatively free in this way. So yeah, it's so important that you get the fresh air you need. You try and actually bring in actual sunlight into your life as much as possible. Get as much fresh air, I'm seeing, and follow the pursuits, the dreams, and the instincts and the insights that you are really creatively lit up by. This is really important. The Lovers here and the Five of Cups and the Queen of Cups, I think that this is like, saying nothing is being brought in that is not at your level. Okay, so like you're being protected so that your relationships to others and to things in your life, opportunities, experiences, are actually at an energetic match for you. So I think you have escaped or been protected from something that is energetically not a match for you. It's either just discordant, like it's a totally different kind of energy that would not suit you and would in some way create a bondage situation, or it was actually actively trying to stop you from becoming powerful. And you're at an early stage in your creative development. You're at a sort of like a manifesting stage. And so it was like really important that you weren't obviously imprisoned while you were doing that, because there's a need for, like I said, spaciousness and breadth and like an actual vision, like sight. You need to be able to see as far as you can see. You need to be able to have a very like broad vision for what you're creating. And someone was trying to lock you in a basement. Like that's the situation here. And the High Priestess is like you guys, like the High Priestess. She's the highest, most important position in like a spiritual establishment. That also means she is the most initiated, with the most depth of understanding. She literally is the reverse pope, right? She's the popess, but this means that she's like the leader of the mysteries. She understands the truth, and people come to her to understand. You were meant to be extremely like powerful. And this energy of King of Pentacles with Devil reversed was like totally fucked. It meant that you were literally being governed over and not, it's like there was an illusion of you're an underworld person, right? High Priestess is someone who has to go through underworld initiations like for years in order to gain the position that she has of wisdom. But then she is like this medicine woman. She is like the spiritual leader of the land, much more so than the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is the leader of the religious structure that pretends to be spiritual leadership, but it's organized religion, which is different. But like High Priestess is the actual matriarchal leader of spiritual knowledge in a certain place, right? This is like what you were, this is what you are, this is what your potential is. That also means that you were like a mystic and an underworld walker. The King of Pentacles was trying to do something to you, which was both to keep you locked in a basement, metaphorically speaking, and also to sort of present the appearance of worldliness as if that's the only way. Okay, so this really feels like historical gender dynamics, where the masculine patriarchal force tries to invalidate the feminine instinct towards underworld mysteries, tries to invalidate that by domineering by domineering a experience of worldly success over them and making them believe that this is the only form of joy or the only form of abundance and success. Whereas the high priestess is like actually not really concerned with that stuff as much as the King of Pentacles is. So instead of coexisting in a beautiful way, I'm really, guys, like really seeing Avalon and King Arthur here. So there's so many different articulations of that myth and of different parts of that myth, but I'm just seeing like that era, that kind of idea or dynamic between like priestesses, like in the land of Avalon, and the kings of the earth, of the realm, like King Arthur, and how in the best scenarios they had a good relationship, they had respect between one another. And the high priestess informs the King of Pentacles. The high priestess was meant to, the priestesses were the wisdom carriers that the kings go to in order to like learn about their own destinies and learn about their own paths and learn about their own power. And the both roles were highly respecting of each other and highly like what's the word I'm looking for? They fed into each other, they nourished each other, right? Then there's this like horrible thing that can happen where the king can decide, whether through his own internalized misogyny or just like a hunger for power or a misunderstood hunger for power, they can try to strip the high priestess or the priestesses of, and the women in general, of their sacred roles and just try to dominate the lands entirely their own, thinking they don't need, right? They don't need the feminine. They don't need the divine feminine. And that's because they get carried away with their own status and their own role in the world. And they think that this is actually the only role that matters, the only expression of power that matters here. Ooh, and so that's kind of the situation I'm seeing here, which is like the devil card being in the crux of these two energies should not be there. These two energies should cleanly coexist with each other. They should nourish each other. They can have a beautiful coexistence and thus care for the land and the spiritual health of this existence, right? Of the people themselves and of the world. But the devil card in between is like, something was weird here about this situation where there was a bondage and a locking down of the energy. And it may not have been like one or the other's fault, although I personally think that it's the King of Pentacles' fault because that's what lies underneath the devil card. But in any case, the situation was creating a locked in the basement kind of energy, maybe for both of these people or both of these situations. But like I said earlier, it does also bring to mind like structural systemic issues. So that's why I'm saying it might not be like another single person in your life. It might be that you are experiencing this through like systemic trauma, through your own self-concept, like your own mind has been the locked basement because of the world that you live in and the societal expectations that are around you. Because this Five of Wands here is underneath the High Priestess. So we know this is like literally rising above that kind of conflict, rising above that kind of chaos, that kind of nonsense, the illusion of conflict. This is what the High Priestess or you is realizing, which is like that what is more lofty is releasing oneself of the bondage that is actually an illusion that is placed on us through noise, like it's through the noise of living in these structures, through the noise of thinking that there can only be one ruler, there can only be one. It's like competition, the energy of competition in order to gain wealth. And the High Priestess is like, I don't exist in that, I exist outside of that. So you're realizing that your role or your power exists outside of that kind of shit. You don't get embroiled in it. You don't get locked in it. You don't get tied to it. And that's okay. That's it. Like that's what you're realizing. The King of Pentacles does get locked in it though. He's in this triangular position where his wealth and stability does in fact exist inside those energies of the Devil, the Five of Wands, the Two of Swords. He's locked there. You don't exist there. You're outside. You're over here. And the Ace of Wands, which is your spiritual protection, is over here as well. And these two things are like, nope, sorry, we don't exist in there. So you are, it's like you were, I'm really also seeing a bee trying to escape something, and a bee is a symbol for the divine feminine, the goddess. So I really feel like this is divine feminine energy coming through protection, and maybe you are a priestess of this energy in some sort, or you're in some way like a channel for it, whether you're an artist or you're just like living, you work with women and whatever, you're involved in some way with feminine energy. And this is a path of success and of healing for you. It's also, pardon me, a path of divine union that doesn't necessarily right now involve another person. This is just divine union. This is you being in union with the divine. Like for High Priestess also really signifies people who are in some way like married to the divine. It doesn't mean that you will never have human love and like you'll never have a family and stuff. It doesn't mean that you're abstinent, but you may be temporarily experiencing or intentionally being abstinent, celibate, in order to focus on your creative and spiritual endeavors. And the Ace of Cups is here like the Holy Grail, because you are truly in touch with that inner divine. So it's like you have the Grail within, like you have found it. This is a very spiritual, noble path, and you're being protected so that you can follow it, so that you can, Six of Wands, like fully be respected and honored through your successes, and be also like, I'm seeing like really arriving, so you can fully arrive in this being, in this energy that you carry. Ooh, that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. I hope all the best for you, and thank you so much for coming back to my channel, or for sort of coming here, I guess, for the first time. It's lovely to have you. And yeah, info to work with me is down below. Check it out. Yeah. See you next time. Bye.